Welcome back to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Now we're going to be looking through some of the new packs, and we're going to be attempting to get some of the Armed Dragon cards. We're still missing a few. We're still missing the Armed Dragon level 10, the Pile Armed Dragon, some of the other key cards, or we're just missing maybe one or two just to make the entire pack relevant. The aim is to make a full Armed Dragon deck soon. So in here we've got Wind Charmer, there's a Horus level 4, we've got the Armed Dragon White level 10, so that's actually one of the 3 boss monsters that you can have. It was the one used by Chaz Princeton within Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 2. When he was controlled by Sartorius, that was one of the gift cards he was given when it was equipped with White Veil. We're still running the Chronomy based deck, so I've got the Mayan Machine in my hand, which I'm going to normal summon. I'll set my Stonehenge methods, and I'll set the Jelly Cannon, just so I've got some form of protection. I also have the Magdalene Globe in hand and the Chronomy technology. I think the point is, if I can't get the monster to stay on the field, at least I'll be able to use the Chronomy technology next turn to banish it, and then draw into an option of 2 cards. My opponent is running what seems to be an Armed Samurai Benkei style of deck. So the purpose of that deck is you summon that monster, you equip a number of equip cards to it, and it can attack the number of times it's equipped with cards. So for example, if it's equipped with 5 cards, that's 5 attacks. And considering that these equip cards all boost your cards up, that's going to be quite devastating. My opponent has already used their Pot of Desires to banish 10 cards to draw 2. They've activated Lightning Storm to destroy both my back row cards. They're activating their Acts of Despair on their Benkei. They've got the Mask of Brutality in there. They have a 3rd card, and this has made the opponent's monster more than enough to OTK me. There really wasn't anything I could do. There was no response from any of my trap cards. They were both traps that can only activate during the battle phase. Hopefully this time we'll get something a little bit easier, or something where we can have some interaction. Unfortunately, I have drawn into one of my level 5 monsters. I can't actually summon the monster. I have the Pyramid Eye Tablet, which is good. That's an extra 800 points in attack points. I've got 2 copies of the Chronomy Temple. Ironic, considering that I only run the 2 copies, and I've drawn them both in the same starting hand, and my Call of the Haunted. My opponent is running a Machinist style of deck, so they're summoning the Gear Frame in attack mode. This will be able to search for one of their other cards. It's annoying because it's one of the initial starting decks for the extra deck zone, which is the event that was running at this time. They'll probably go into something like the Ruin Force or the Machina Fortress, which are 2 of their key boss monsters. The Ruin Force is quite scary actually, it's got 4,600 attack points. But no, they've actually gone into a different one. It's also a level 4 monster, but I think that also has the ability to search or to pitch cards. Yes, as you can see, it's been able to special summon itself, and its additional effect will activate. They send a card to the graveyard from the deck, and the Gear Frame is then going to equip onto the other monster. They're going to set 1 card face down, set a 2nd, set a 3rd, and end their turn. So there's a lot for me to get through. I need to draw... typical, I didn't draw into another monster, so the only thing I could do is set a couple of cards if I want to. I opt to set both trap cards just to try and scare him off a little. And from their hand they activate a Machina Monster's effect. It boosts their other Machina Monster up. They resummon their Machina Gear Frame. Because it's a Union monster, you can either equip or unequip. And they attack me directly for 4,800 points of damage. I draw into a Ballista squad, so again, I've drawn so badly into this deck, it's just unbelievable. My opponent then activates their Machina Gear Frame again to re-equip onto their other Machina monster. I'm guessing they must have drawn another monster, otherwise they wouldn't be necessarily doing that. Yep, they've drawn into one and they're going to use that effect to discard their Shining Angel to special summon it in attack mode. And this will be just enough damage to finish me off. That's 3,300, considering my life points are 3,200. You couldn't get much closer if you tried. So in this case, we're going first. Hopefully I will have started with something a bit better. Even if I do have the level 5, at least please some level 4s in there. And my answers, my prayers have been received. I've got my Mine Machine, I've got the Mud Golem, which is the first one I summon. I have the Moai, which can actually special summon itself. It's a level 5 monster, and I'll special summon it in defense mode. I have the Chronomaly Temple, and I have the Chronomaly Technology. My opponent special summons a Cyber Dragon. They can do that if they've got no monsters on their field and I have monsters on mine. They summon another Cyber Dragon, which has the ability to boost their monsters up by 500 attack points, and a third copy, which happens to do the same. So I've lost both my monsters, which I worked hard to get on the field. That's the nuisance of the Cyber Dragons. I'm hoping it doesn't go into the Cyber Infinity Dragon because there is no out for me currently in my deck. And I have to draw into the absolute worst Chronomaly I could have drawn into, the Tudor Guardian, because I don't have any field spells. That means it can't special summon itself. So it's just a level 5 monster. I have an option between Tusper Rocket or Torrential Tribute. I opt to just go for the Torrential Tribute because frankly it's more useful and I can recover the Tusper Rocket at some point. I have no choice but to set my Mayan Machine. At least that way I'm not going to take any life point damage. My opponent summons an armored Cybern, and at which point I just use this torrential tribute. I don't want them to be able to do anything else, I just want everything wiped out. I think that was the best idea I could have gone with. I drew into another Chronomaly technology, which is fantastic. It gives me at least an option. I choose to banish the Mayan Machine as part of the cost. And neither card that I've gotten into is useful. I've got the Ballista Squad and I've got another copy of the Chronomaly Temple. The Ballista Squad goes face down and I end my turn. At least hopefully this will at least scare him a bit. My opponent sets a card face down and ends their turn. Fantastic, I've drawn into the Chronomaly Moai. So that's another level 5 monster I can't special summon without having a Chronomaly monster on the field. My opponent gets their Chronomaly Nashta, and they use its effect to revive a Cyber Dragon. They attack me directly for 2,300 points of damage. I draw finally into the Aztec Mask, which can actually special summon itself if you activate a spell card in the same turn. So that's why I'm going with the Chronomaly Temple to start with. Second, I then special summon the Aztec Mask. I attribute the Aztec Mask for Tudor Guardian. And I'll special summon the Moai. Tudor Guardian will attack the Cyber Nashta. But my opponent activates their Cyber Reflect plant, which actually I've not seen people use in quite some time. I mean, this is a very traditional old way of bringing out a Cyber Dragon which isn't a fusion monster. A couple of their mini-boss monsters, they had a Cyber Barrier Dragon which was to protect their life points, and they had the Cyber Laser Dragon which was kind of a medium style of threat, which could destroy high attack position monsters. I used the Ballista Squad actually on the Cyber Dragon rather than the Cyber Barrier Dragon. You might wonder why that is, because Cyber Barrier Dragon only has 800 attack points. It's most likely going to be left in defense mode, whereas the Cyber Dragon presents an immediate threat. My opponent can't do anything, so they end their turn. I draw into Crystal Bones, which again isn't useful. It would have been great to have at the beginning of the duel. My opponent doesn't seem to be able to do much themselves. I draw into the Mayan machine, and again I'm forced to end the turn. My opponent sets a card face down and ends their turn. We seem to be in quite a bit of a stalemate. I draw into my Chronomany Mud Golem. This doesn't have any effect other than the piercing damage. It's not strong enough, it's only 1,700 attack points. My opponent sets a card face down. They tribute over the Cyber Barrier Dragon for a Cyber Dragon. And they attack and destroy my Tudor Guardian. Frankly, they did me a favour. We were so much in a stalemate that, at least by getting rid of the Barrier Dragon, I can do something now. I decide to normal summon the Mayan machine in attack mode and end my turn. My opponent activates their cybernetic hidden technology, and they attack using the Cyber Dragon. I use the effect of the monster in my hand. By discarding it, it prevents my Mayan machine from being destroyed in battle. I still take the damage though. I draw into a Guardian Sphinx, which is pretty much not what I needed. I'm forced to switch my Mayan machine to defense mode and to set my Mud Golem. My opponent special summons, well, they set a card and they turn their Cyber Dragon to defense position. I don't know why, considering they're winning. I draw into my Call of the Haunted. Again, it's not useful for now, but this does give me the opportunity to attack into the Cyber Dragon, considering it only has 1,600 defense and my Mud Golem has 1,700. I go straight into the battle phase and attack with the Mud Golem. My opponent activates the effect of the hidden technology, destroying the Cyber Dragon and my Mud Golem, but it leaves me room to attack directly with the Mayan machine. My opponent then flips over a magic cylinder, and I'll take 1,500 life points in damage. My opponent activates their Cybernetic Overflow. That's going to destroy cards on my field up to the number of Cyber Dragon type cards they banish. Since they're getting rid of 3 cards, that's all 3 of my cards on the field gotten rid of. My opponent then special summons the Cyber Eltonin and normal summons a Cyber Dragon Dry. And that's enough damage to destroy me. It seems like a very slow duel. I wasn't able to really pick up any of my key cards, nor was I able to get some of the basic trap cards. My starting hand here looks quite bare. I've got the Chronomaly Skull, I've got the Chronomaly Bones, I've got the Pyramid Eye Tablet, the Chronomaly Temple, the Stonehenge Methods, and Ring of Destruction. My opponent is activating Reasoning. So I call a level, and depending on whatever that level is the one that if I call it right, then it goes to the graveyard. If I call it wrong, it gets special summoned to their field. I called for level 8, which is typically what you should be calling for. It's usually that or a level 4. And it happened to be their Witchcrafter, which was a level 8 monster. So I actually outfoxed them on this. My opponent sets a card and activates their Witchcrafter creation, summoning a Witchcrafter monster to their field. Their Witchcrafter creation goes back to their hand at the end of the turn. I draw into the Magdalene Globe, but I'll start by special summoning the Crystal Bones. And using its effect. To special summon the Magdalene Globe. I trigger the effect of the Magdalene Globe, sending it to the graveyard, to special summon a Chronomaly monster from my deck. Unfortunately, I am not able to do that because they use their effect to negate its effect, and I'm forced to only go into the Pyramid Eye Tablet. My opponent is able to then special summon a higher attack monster, so I'm forced to set my 2 cards and end my turn. My opponent sets a card face down and uses the effect of Witchcrafter in their graveyard. At which point I activate my Ring of Destruction to target their Witchcrafter monster on the field. We both take 2,400 life points in damage. I draw into a second Pyramidine tablet, which I immediately activate. They activate their trap card, their Witchcrafter Patronus, which recovers one of their banished monsters back to the deck, to search for one of their spell cards. I'll go straight into battle phase. I can't do anything with the Magdalene Globe until a Chrononomy card is in the graveyard. They activate the effect of the Witchcrafter Patronus, returning their Witchcrafter monster from the graveyard back to the deck, to search for another Witchcrafter spell card. They activate this one, and it has the ability to once per turn protect the Witchcrafter monster either by card effect or from destruction from battle. They then target the Witchcrafter that's in their graveyard and special summon it to their field. They'll discard a card in order to target my Crystal Bones. Its effect requires my Crystal Bones to be destroyed. And they get to search and recover all of their Witchcrafter spell cards, which go back to their hand. During my turn, I draw into a Chrononomy monster I can't do anything with, so I have to use the Magdalene Globe effect from the graveyard, banishing my Crystal Bones to return it to the hand. But my opponent uses a Called by the Grave, which will banish my Magdalene Globe and negate its effect. I'll end my turn. My opponent is able to special summon a second one of the Witchcrafter monsters and activate another one of their Witchcrafter spells. This one sends my Stonehenge methods back to my hand. They use their Witchcrafter monster that they summoned alongside a Witchcrafter spell card. By discarding it, I believe they're able to then special summon a Witchcrafter monster from their deck, and they choose to leave it in attack mode. With the effect of the Witchcrafter Patronus, they return the banished Witchcrafter monster back to the deck. They'll search for another Witchcrafter spell card, and they will attack directly with all 3 of their monsters. So in this case, I didn't draw very well either. There wasn't anything I could particularly do to counter them. I did get them to quite low life points, considering, but with no extra deck, that didn't help me. This case, we are going second. I prefer to go second, it just makes everything easier. Depending on the deck, if I understand it, if it's a deck that I've faced before, I will have some means of dealing with it. So my opponent is going to start off by setting what appears to be several cards face down, 4 cards, and ending their turn. My instant thought to this is it's going to be a burn style of deck, or it's going to be a stall style of deck, because those are very heavy back row dependent. First thing I want to do is I'll activate the Pyramid Eye Tablet. I've got Torrential Tribute in my hand, Stonehenge Methods, Ballista Squad, those are the 3 traps. I've got Magdalene Globe, and I've got Aztec Mask. Aztec Mask can special summon itself if you've activated a spell card during the same turn. My opponent is running Eldlick. As soon as I see that card, I know it's an Eldlick player, which is one of the worst decks I hate facing, because it's very trap dependent and boss monster dependent. The traps in that deck have the ability, they have dual abilities to not only act as a monster, as a trap monster, but they'll have destruction based effects or searching based effects, things that a lot of your monsters can only do by themselves, and it's not like you can use their effects multiple times a turn, whereas with the Eldlick trap cards, they absolutely can. I'll start with my Magdalene Globe's effect, sending it to the graveyard to special summon a Tudor Guardian. Unfortunately, it is a few hundred attack points shy of actually overthrowing that Eldlick, so I have no choice but to set a couple of cards face down. I wanted to keep the Torrential Tribute back in my hand just in case they tried to destroy it. And here we go. Here is an example of the Eldlick monster they're bringing out. This one has the ability to reduce your monster's attack points to 0. It just completely zeroes out your monster's attack points. It doesn't matter how much they were before, whether it was 500 or 5,000. Everything turns to 0. They'll set a card face down. They'll use the Eldlick card from their graveyard by banishing it. I'm guessing they're going to be able to special summon a second copy of the Eldlick. Well, actually, they set another Eldlick trap card face down. They'll switch their Eldlick monster to attack position. And they'll attack my Aztec Mask. Because there isn't anything I can really do, I need to get rid of my Tudor Guardian. It has 0 attack points. It would be just like attacking directly, to then get rid of their Eldlick, the Golden Lord, using the Ballista Squad's effect. That was successful. And my opponent doesn't have a choice but to go to the main phase 2. They do use the effect of their Eldlick by sending their trap monster from the field to the graveyard. They're then able to search and pick it up, put it back in their hand. And special summon itself in defense position. They'll then set a card from their deck into their field. I've drawn now into skill successor. This isn't useful, but I'll start by setting my torrential tribute. I'll activate the effect of my Magdalene Globe. By banishing the Chula Guardian, I can bring the Magdalene Globe back to the hand. They activate their Eldritch Trap card, summoning it in defense position and destroying a card that I control. I think it has to be a face-up card, so I lose the Pyramid Eye Tablet. Using the Magdalene Globe, I then send it to the graveyard, but they respond by activating a trap card of their own. They're special summoning a second copy of their Eldritch, the Golden Lord. And I choose to special summon the Chronomany Moai. I'll go to my end phase, hoping that next turn they summon into something, which will allow me to use the Torrential Tribute. I set one card face down, while they'll switch their Eldritch monsters into attack position. And they'll proceed to destroy my Aztec Mask and my Moai. With Stonehenge methods, I'm able to special summon a monster from the deck in defense position, but it cannot change its battle mode. They activate a spell card, which summons their third copy of the Eldritch monsters. I then trigger off my Torrential Tribute, because I think this is the best time to use it. And my opponent unfortunately activates a counter trap. By getting rid of their Eldritch monster, they're able to negate it. They use the effect of the Eldritch monster in the graveyard. By getting rid of one of their trap cards, they're able to bring it back to the hand. By banishing the Eldritch monster from their graveyard, they're able to search and set another trap card. I draw into my Tusper Rocket. I chose to summon it in a zone which doesn't have any trap cards in, just in case they have an infinite impermanence. With Tusper Rocket's effect, I'm then going to send a Chronomery monster to the graveyard, and then the opponent's monster is going to lose 1,000 attack points, which is 200 times the level of the monster that was sent. I use the effect of the Magdalene Globe. I'll banish the Pyramid Eye Tablet to return it to my hand. I'll set the skill successor face down and end my turn. My opponent uses the Golden Lord's effect by discarding itself and a second monster. Well, the spell card. They're able to get rid of my trap card. They use the effect of summoning one of their trap monsters, and this will zero out my Tusper Rocket. They'll send the trap monster that they just summoned to the graveyard to special summon to send the Golden Lord back to their hand. And then to special summon it. When it's special summoned, it gains 1,000 attack and defense points. They switch the second Golden Lord to attack position. They'll activate a trap card, and they'll also activate their Paleozoic monster from the graveyard, which special summons itself as a trap monster. They special summon a Ash Blossom and Winter Cherries in defense position. The Paleozoic monster will destroy my Mine Machine. The strongest Golden Eldlick will attack my other monster, and they'll finish me off with the other two monsters. Oh, that was a complete embarrassment, wasn't it? There was no response from me. They didn't take any life points. It was a perfect victory for them, and essentially a near perfect defeat for me. This one I've drawn quite badly. Again, I've got 2 level 5 monsters. I do have the Golden Jet, but that adjusts the level of monsters that are summoned to the field. If they're of different levels, they're still adjusted, but they'll always be a level off. For example, if you have the Moai and you have the Golden Jet, the Moai would become a level 6 monster, the Golden Jet would become a level 5. It wouldn't be conducive for Exceed summoning. And I've got the Guardian Sphinx, which can adjust the level of a monster to level 5. It's fine, but I don't have any other monsters I can summon other than the Golden Jet. The Chronomery Pyramid Eye Tablet is good because that'll be an extra 800 attack points, so that's fine. Stone Age Methods is okay, it's just a defensive card. And the Jelly Cannon is also good for defensive purposes. I then special summon my Moai in face-up defense position. My opponent has a Danger Tsuchinoko and a face-down card. I have to activate the Pyramid Eye Tablet. It'll at least make my Chronomeries look a little bit of a threat. I'll destroy it using my Golden Jet. I'll go to main phase 2, I'll set my Stone Age Methods and the Jelly Cannon. My opponent seems to be running a danger-based deck, so they've got their Danger Thunderbird, they're discarding a card, and special summoning the Thunderbird in attack position. They use the effect of their Danger Mothman, which enables them and me to draw an additional card. I happen to draw into a Pyramid Eye tablet. I'll go straight into the battle phase. I'll activate the Jelly Cannon just to get rid of the Thunderbird. It'll go back to the deck. My opponent activates a Solemn Judgment, paying 4,000 life points. It must be very important for them to activate that, to completely wipe out my Jelly Cannon. Fortunately, that's not that big of a problem. I'll activate my Stonehenge methods. And I'll summon the Mud Golem in defense position. I draw into the Magdala Globe. I'll switch the Moai to attack position, summon the Magdalene Globe in attack position, I'll activate my second copy of the Chrononomy Pyramid Eye tablet, and I'll go straight into battle phase. I didn't want to risk activating any effects just in case they get negated. Sometimes the best way of defeating your opponent is to be nice and simple about it. He is left with 300 life points, but that's not too big of a threat. My opponent activates their Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. That'll destroy all of my Chrononomy monsters. And they'll special summon a Kaiju to my field and a Kaiju to theirs. Obviously they're going to be the weaker of the two. They'll activate the effect of their Danger Thunderbird and they'll summon that to the field. and they'll end their turn. I draw into the Tusper Rocket. I think that's actually quite perfect. As weak as it is in terms of its attack, but the first thing I want to bait any type of effects that we're going to use, so I'll use the Magdalene Globe. I'll banish the Winged Sphinx. And yes, it does bait their Called by the Grave. I think typically it is that kind of card, but you can't always be sure. Sometimes it's completely different. That banishes my Magdalene Globe and it negates its effect. At which point I then activate the summoned effect of my Tusper Rocket. By sending a monster to the graveyard, I'll be able to reduce my opponent's attack points 200 times the level of the monster. I choose for that one because that one has the ability to recover itself from the graveyard by paying 1,000 life points. So that will give me a little bit more field presence. It also, at the end of the turn, returns to my hand, so you can use its protection effect. And that effect continues to recycle so long as you have more than 1,000 life points. Now I'll attack using the Tusper Rocket straight into their Danger Thunderbird. That one didn't seem to be so difficult. I seem to have more control over how the game state was played. But I also think because their deck was mostly just a standardised beatdown, with a couple of cards meant to counter your opponent's strategy, it wasn't too difficult to read what they were planning to do. My opponent starts off by using their Pot of Duality, searching for 3 cards, and they draw into their Pot of Desires. They then use the effect of Pot of Desires to banish 10 cards from the top of their deck face down to draw 2 cards. They then end their turn for whatever reason. So my starting hand, I have the Mud Golem, the Magdalene Globe, the Chronometry Technology, Ring of Destruction, and I've just drawn into the Stonehenge Methods and I've got the Jelly Cannon. I normal summon the Magdalene Globe and I'll use its effect to tribute itself and special summon a Chronometry monster from my deck. The monster I choose is Tudor Guardian, mostly just because it's one of the more powerful ones. It's also one you don't want to normally draw into, because it then breaks your hand. I then actually, as a part of a risk, use the Chronometry Technology to banish my Magdalene Doll, the Globe, to choose one of 2 cards. It happens to be either the Call of the Haunted or the Stonehenge Methods. Since I already have one in my hand, I might as well keep the Call of the Haunted. I'll set a couple of cards face down and end my turn. My opponent is activating their Hidden Armory, so they're able to search for any of their equip spells. They then activate their Magical Mallet. This enables them to send a number of cards back from their hand to the deck and draw the equivalent number of cards. They then end their turn. I drew into my Chronometry Technology, but the only thing I can do is normal summon the Mud Golem. I'll attack using the Mud Golem, and the Tudor Guardian. My opponent activates a continuous trap card. And they then activate their Psychic Blade, paying 2,000 life points and equipping my Mud Golem. They then pay some more life points, reducing their life points really right down to 1,250. They use the Reversal Quiz to exchange the life points, and they use the effect of their Fuma Shurikens from the graveyard. These do 700 points of burn damage each. So it's a very unusual type of win strategy. They've gone with a Reversal Quiz burn strategy to get their life points as